All systems go. Cleared for liftoff.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope you guys out there having a great day so far. I'm with my man Hoop. That's a rare occasion. Usually if I'm with my man Hoop, it's a Friday talking NFL cash. So I'm excited to talk some hoops with you. A lot of familiar faces in chat. A lot of people we met this weekend in Arizona. A lot of people flying out today. My voice, not the best right now. I'm still ready to make some money. We had a lot of fun with a lot of members. Super Bowl yesterday. I wanted the Niners. Mahomes gets the job done again. Shout out Beetlebane, though. Second place up there. Awesome stuff from you. A lot of member screenshots. Hoop, bring you in. Missed you this weekend. Hey, your kid had some success, though. Won the weekend. You could talk about that. Always exciting stuff. But what's going on, man?
Yeah, so had the baseball tournament Saturday. Went well, so I wasn't able to join the team out there in Arizona. Sounded like everyone had a good time. And, just very thankful for everyone on our team and what they've done to get us to this point. It's kind of a little celebration for everyone, so that was cool to see. In terms of the game yesterday, I mean, I still go back to the show that me, you, and Tambo did to start the playoffs, talking about the Chiefs, and we all kind of got to the talking point. It's like, the Chiefs have looked like shit. They've looked really bad. This was that, game one of the postseason. We're like, going into the playoffs, they have not looked good. But there is a chance, I think we all kind of agreed on this at the end of the day, there's a chance that they just flip the switch and they make a run and get there. And that's exactly what happened. Big mistakes, obviously, by the 49ers. Good teams take advantage of mistakes, and that's what the Chiefs did. One thing I still don't understand, though, like the way this new format is set up for playoff overtime, like, I'd assume it's a really big advantage to get the ball first. I don't understand why the Niners would take the ball there. I think it's like you automatically want to defer in that spot. At least I do, because then you have the advantage of seeing what you need to do. I mean, if they kick a field goal, you win with a touchdown. So I thought that was kind of weird that they chose to take the ball. But slow start to the game ended up being exciting. Overtime in the Super Bowl, not much more you can ask for. And it just goes to show you with that Chiefs team. I mean, there are secondary pieces all over the map all season. Obviously, Rashee Rice, stepped up in a big way towards the end of the season. Kelsey obviously looked good, but the guys that catch the touchdown passes, MBS, who can't catch a ball all season long, and then the winning touchdown goes to Mecole Hardman. I think it's just a true testament to their team and what it's been about all season long. And I mean, Mahomes he's entering that, whatever you want to say, greatest of all time, the GOAT, the best. I mean, at such a young age to already have this sort of success, man, it's legendary stuff. It's very impressive. So yeah, it was good overall. But I'm with you though. I was on the Niners and it didn't work out, and we'll get them next time.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was absolutely insane game for sure. And the OT thing. So I was with you. I was like, I mean, what is going on? Both teams possessed the ball. I didn't know the OT rules either, and I still don't. But I saw people on Twitter this morning scrolling a little bit on social media saying there's a huge advantage. I don't know what that advantage is after, like, if they both match the score. I think someone said sudden death, and I don't know if that means like one play from the 2-yard line. Someone in the YouTube chat would know, but it made it sound like the advantage was much greater if you both scored the same, a field goal or a touchdown, than it was to do it how they did it. Because, it made no sense. Like, you have a free fourth down, deferring and getting the ball second to start. And the only thing I could think of was they just got walked on the field. Defense was tired, which still I don't even know if it was the right reason. But, I guess there's someone in chat will probably know. But it was a good game. No doubt about that. I'm talking NBA, we got 9 games. We got 10 games on the nights. DraftKings did not include the 10:30 Eastern game. So 9 games today. Injury news we're waiting on, as always. Before we do go game by game, got to say hi to people in chat first. And yes, unfortunately, Brock Ham, he didn't want that smoke. He wanted to get up at like 5:30 a.m. to play basketball. And that was definitely not happening this weekend over here. So no one-on-one. Pair buys in here. Michael W. Jordan in here as well. Reezer, Jake, Beach Bum, Gator Nation, Ryan's in here. Networks Academy, Coach Marley. Marley sitting back in my back porch watching some Ilya Taporia tape right now, getting ready for big UFC weekend. So shout out to Marley as well. Michael Peterson, good to see you as well. All we ask from you on this show, like button, subscribe button helps us out a ton. And also, if you do want to join us at the Nation, no better time to join. Huge partnership. We'll be seeing, we'll be talking about it more. Hoop, Tambo, DGen, the newest partner coming up. You'll hear a lot more details about it this week. Very, very exciting stuff, though. Bringing on NASCAR. Man, talk about prize pools. NASCAR prize pools. Absolutely massive. Showdown Golf. We already have golf content. Showdown Golf, only going to get better. Best golf content in the industry. Still got MMA. Lots of weeks going there. NBA. We got NHL as well. Projections for all the sports. No better price in the industry. Multiple ways to go. Weekly, monthly, 6-month, annual. Get in. Do get in the Discord as well. Best community. You get a lot of these familiar faces. Jordan's, Michael's in here. A lot of these people in YouTube chat talking sports in the Discord at all time of the day as well. Hoop, anything you want to add this slate? Anything in general? The exciting ad, again, we just had our Phoenix party. The DGen ad was in between that and what we're going to talk about next week. So maybe got lost a little bit, but we're very excited over here.
Yeah, super excited. The partnership, the merger with Degenerate 75 and his entire team. Kind of soft launched it last week, and on Wednesday it's going to be the official launch. And we're doing a show at, I believe, as of now, it is 1 Eastern. Myself, Tambo, and Degen, and we'll break it all down for you, show you what you get, the benefits, and kind of just talk through everything and how it's going to play out in terms of his content coming over to SHIPITNation.com and his community coming over as well. Talked about it a little bit last show, but I mean, it's a situation where it's a true win-win-win all the way around. Like, his team obviously gets the big win because they have coming over and they're going to get all these new sports, MMA content, MLB, NBA, everything that we have to offer on our side. And then our members, our team, get the big win as well, because not only do they still get everything that we offer for the same price, now DGen's content's coming over. Phenomenal job with PGA projections, round 2 showdown projections, round 3, round 4 showdown projections. His live stream, just a huge win all around. We're very excited to get this started on Wednesday. And like I said, at 1 p.m. Eastern, we'll have that show breaking it all down for you. But that's when it becomes official, and could not be more excited. I mean, there's a lot of people that have both sites. I remember that both sites now. Guess what? They get to pay one price for everything. So again, the wins are all over the place, and we're looking forward to get started with that. And the price tag is the main thing here. We started this. You got in obviously early with us. Kind of just made a commitment to each other that we're keeping these price tags low and affordable. I mean, a lot of sites in the industry, it's just straight up in terms of what they're charging, and it seems like it's not slowing down. And we want to offer an all-encompassing product that gets you everything you need at a very affordable price, so you can play more on DraftKings or FanDuel, whatever site, instead of paying us. And that's what it's going to be all about for us moving forward. Even with the additions, the add-ons, we've added multiple sports, we've added content pieces, and the price just does not go up for you. And that's something we pride ourselves on. That's something that is not going to be changing at all moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, we just had DGen, we had new sports. Hoop and Tambo, before I was even on the team, were preaching low price, promised the founding family members we're adding stuff for the same price. MMA, we're doing that. NASCAR, we're doing that. College football. Shout out Smarty. He already crushed college football for free in the Discord. He'll still be around the Discord too. Just more additions here at SHIPITNation.com for the same price. Very excited. I mean, last thing on that note, all of our sports, one price is cheaper than some niche sports across the industry. So we're trying to give you the best content we can, play more, help you win there. But that's enough of that. Let's get into some NBA talk. Again, like button, subscribe button helps us out a ton. Head over to SHIPITNation.com if you want to see the membership options. Game by game, first game of the night, 7 p.m. Eastern, Indiana Pacers, Charlotte Hornets, 238 total. Pacers 9.5-point favorites. Important injury news in this one. Tyrese Halliburton is questionable. Jalen Smith is out. On the Charlotte side, LaMelo's out. Mark Williams continues to be out as well. Talking Tyrese, he's had the Q tag a good amount these past couple games. He continues to play. Minutes, 30, 25, 29, 22. Finally starting to get up a little bit. I'm assuming he plays. We'll get that news before lock. If not, guys like a Nemhard, TJ McConnell even get bigger boosts. I think Miles Turner is interesting in this spot, as well as Isaiah Jackson. They're pretty thin in the front court with no Jalen Smith. 3'5", 6'1", both center eligible, though. Take it away. I think the Indiana side is more interesting than Charlotte for me. What do you see in this one?
Yeah, pretty much agree with you in terms of side. It's going to be the Pacers. And then if for some reason Halliburton doesn't play, obviously they'll get a boost. But I think he does play. I don't necessarily think I'll get there on the slate at 86 with the minutes still kind of up in the air and pretty inconsistent. As you can see here, we have the solver up. We're partnering with the solver. If you're a member at SHIPIT Nation, you want to add on the solver. Our projections come preloaded in here, so that's kind of what we're doing. We're walking through. We're going to go game by game here with our projections over on the solver. You can see top value on this game would be Trey Mann at 4,600. Fine playing him if you want to go there. 18, 27 minutes. He's been productive. 26, 31. One of the better values, and the ownership probably follows it. Right now we have it around 20, which I think is fair. Someone in the chat pointed out Miles Turner at 6,100, good price tag on him. Just very fair at 61, safe option with the ability to get into the 40s, which you obviously want at 6.1K. And then some of the cheap options, like you said, Isaiah Jackson's all the way down at 3.5K. Grant Williams, not a guy that I love to play, but 4,300, you could take a look at him. Not my favorite game overall, but I think, 4 or 5 plays that we can look to here. Trey Mann and Turner, based on our projections, are the two that are the best values in this game.
I like it. Yep. And then again, any member out there, when we're talking NBA, always what I would do the first thing, head over to the NBA slate plan, check that out. I know Rio is traveling today. It'll be up a little later than usual. Does a great job, though, breaking down studs, mid-tier, lower tier builds, projections updated throughout the night. So these Q tags, hey, even an hour and a half into the slate, someone's out, that's updated starting lineups. You need NBA. You need projections in every sport nowadays. Definitely need an NBA and updated. We have you covered there. Cash report, even if you do just play tournaments, I think it's very important to know who's chalk, what are the chalky plays, what are the builds like, stars and scrubs, balance builds, and make decisions that way. So all of that is on the site as well, including showdown content. That last game of the night, not on the main slate. It is a showdown, big prize pools. We have you covered over there as well. So just wanted to shout, always projection, slate plan, 2 great things to start your NBA process out with. Let's go to the next game. Is Hoop has up. Philadelphia 76ers, Cleveland Cavaliers, 230 total. Cleveland 10-point favorites. Injury report for Cleveland. Dean Wade's questionable. Does not mean anything there. So Cleveland pretty much fully healthy. Philly, still without Embiid, obviously. No DeAnthony Melton, no Nicholas Batum, no Robert Covington. Then we got Tobias Harris questionable, which is big news, and Mo Bamba also questionable. This game, 7 p.m. Eastern, so we'll get the news. Tobias, very, very big news on this slate. I mean, if he plays, I'll throw it right to you in this one. I guess you can start Philly side and the Tobias news because they're still without Embiid, the Melton Batums of the world. If he's in, I don't know. I guess I don't have as much interest because DK has it priced accordingly, assuming Tobias is in. Cleveland side, though, just really D-Mitch and Jared Allen for me. What about you?
Yeah, so 76ers side, I think you kind of nailed it. It's the prices now. They've kind of adjusted quite a bit. And, Maxey at 93, Buddy Hield 63, Kelly Oubre 64, and then Tobias Harris at 7,800. If he does play, do you really want to pay 78? Hasn't really got, he's going to get the minutes, but he hasn't been producing. At 7,800, you want to feel like your guy can pretty comfortably get into the 40s, and that just hasn't necessarily been the case. And you're kind of paying that premium. Paul Reed all the way up to like 6K. The price tags just aren't all that good. If Tobias is out, then you're definitely going to take a look at some of these guys. Buddy Hield, Kelly Oubre were the first two that kind of came to my mind. 63, moderate price tags, 64 for Oubre. Could definitely get there, but if Tobias is in, I just don't see myself really playing a lot. You look at the numbers. They have the lowest team total on the slate, I believe, or right there at 109.5. Everyone else, we have some big boy team totals. So not.
What about Maxey? Do you think? Because I was saying the same thing.
93. He's not showing up as a great value, but he can certainly get there. I think he'd be fine. He'd be a fine option, but you are paying a premium. He's got to do something pretty big at 93. Jared Allen, Mobley, Mitchell, think fine options. I'd probably just focus more on Allen and Mobley. They're popping up as pretty solid values overall on this slate. But yeah, it really comes down on the 76er side. It really comes down to Tobias, whether or not he's in or out. And then on the Cleveland side, I'd take a look at the bigs and probably call it a day.
Yeah, Mobley, he's still getting there working his way back after injury, like 8 games so far. 27, 25, 25, 27 minutes. So high 20s, but 36, 36, 37, 46, 48 DK points. The rebounds are phenomenal. Double machine. Usage is up there. He's going to be very low owned. 6'8", I think on DK is a fine price tag. He's flashed some upside. I do like Allen a decent bit. What are your thoughts on Mitchell? You didn't have much interest. You just like the big men over him?
Yeah, I just don't know. Like, if you look at the slate overall, take
Luka's going to get it. So, like, the broad slate overview a lot right now is Luka up top, and then people are fine skipping that 8 to 11K range and going more mid-tier after that.
Yeah, it's just an awkward price. At that price, you're sacrificing another spend, and definitely at 9,900. He's definitely got to do something pretty big to get there, or you're in trouble. It's a 12, 11, or I guess 11-point spread. So not my favorite. I get it if you want to do it, but he's got to do something relatively big.
Yeah, absolutely to that. You want to touch on this quick from Michael?
Yeah, nothing changes on his end. He's going to continue to do the exact same content that he does over at Degenerate 75. The only difference is it's going to be at SHIPITNation.com now. It's not going to be at degen75.com. It's going to be at SHIPITNation.com. So his content, his workload is going to remain the same. Only difference is it is now at SHIPITNation.com.
Yep, his the Rosetta Stone, all of his tools, it'll all be the same, just on Shipping Nation. Very, very exciting stuff. Excited to get in the NASCAR streets. And these prize pools, people already in the general discussion. A lot of people at Shipping Nation were talking about NASCAR. Now you get that, just a part of your package. Same price there. Let's keep it rolling. Hoop, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. San Antonio Spurs, Toronto Raptors, 237 total. Raptors 6-point favorites. And there is no injury news in this game to worry about. Now, in terms of interest in DFS, I think it's pretty interesting. Solid total, pretty close spread. Spurs side, always Wemby. He's below 9K, 8.9K, totally fine there. Devin Vassell, solid price tag, 6.5K. Those are my main interests in the Spurs side. More interest for me, Toronto. Starts with Jakob Poeltl. Talk a little revenge game right there. Center, 6.3K. Center's loaded on this slate. I think 2 centers, very viable for sure. Already talked about Miles Turner, Isaiah Jackson, Jarrett Allen, now Jakob Poeltl. So center strong. I'll buy in the revenge there. Quickly, Gary Trent, Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett. I think this is a pretty good game. I like Toronto's side a little more. What do you see?
Yeah, kind of in the same boat. I definitely prefer the Toronto side. There's just more options. Scotty Barnes, continues to have a phenomenal season. Price tag's up there at 8.5, but he has so many ways to pay it off. And the nice thing with him is a point guard and small forward eligible. So you can play him in a lot of different spots in your DraftKings roster. Quickly, RJ Barrett, I think they're all fine options here. And then if you do want to get into this game and kind of get pieces of both sides, Wembanyama under 9K, like you said, certainly in play. This game has a big total, obviously, should remain pretty close. Poeltl, I'd be fine with him, 6'3". Safe-ish option, kind of coming off a little bit of a stinker. I'm assuming that was probably a blowout. It looks like he only played 21 minutes, but 54, 33, 43 prior to that. He has the upside that you'll definitely take at 6,300. You play a guy at 6,300, you're hoping he gets you between 30 and 35. This guy has the upside to go into like the 50s, which is very nice. So good with him and the revenge thing, like you mentioned. This is a game that definitely wants some exposure to and a lot of different ways to kind of go about it.
I love it. Yeah. Is there any rules and stuff? I know Rio's mainly the rule guy, and I defer to him in a lot of stuff like that, but any max Raptors, could you get to 4 on a slate like this? It feels a little much to me.
Yeah.
I could play Gary Trent, Jakob Poeltl, Quickly, Barrett, Scotty Barnes. I'm not sure I want more than 3 though on a team. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think 2 or 3, preferably 2, just because it's not like a standout value player at 3.5 guy or a 4K guy or something. Everyone has a pretty mid-tier price range, so they all have to put up a decent, they all got to get in the 35, 40 fantasy point type range. And it's difficult in these mid-tier price tags without having like a super cheap guy. So probably 2, maybe 3.
Yep. Makes some sense. Jordan talking about any Olynyk or Trent Love on Toronto. Yeah, I talked about Trent for sure. 4.2 is just a solid price tag. Point guard, shooting guard. Olynyk on the other side, I think he's interesting. I don't know. 4.9K, definitely going to need size. Low 20s minutes, always a good point per minute producer. I think he's fine with the power forward eligibility as well. No strong lean there. Any thoughts on Kellyo?
Yeah, I mean, in tournaments, I think it's fine, especially if you're kind of getting big into this game. 4,900, 30, 25, 26, 22. You're going to need like upper 20s most likely, and he can do it. And if he gets into 30s, obviously you're kind of coasting. So I don't hate it. I mean, I don't know how much I would have, but don't hate the play.
Yeah, I probably this early after the trade, I probably want to see us roll a little more in a 9-game slate, but maybe you get that upside at a low ownership there. Gary Trent, though, I do prefer if I had to pick. Next game on the slate, 9 to talk about. Again, appreciate that like button. Hope all 134 of you out there having a good day so far. Everybody watching on playback as well. Next game, Chicago Bulls, Atlanta Hawks, 238 total, close spread at 4. Important injury news in this one. Levine is out. Patrick Williams is out. Alex Caruso is questionable. So monitor that Q tag on Caruso. Atlanta side, Wesley Matthews, Clint Capella out. Patty Mills doubtful. I think with the Levine injury news, with no Pat Will and potentially no Caruso, even if Caruso's in, I think Kobe White and DeRozan get a good bit of ownership, pretty thin in the backcourt. Caruso would only make those 2 stronger plays. Then going to the other side, something Rio likes to talk about a lot, Caruso, the best guard defender on the Bulls side. If he were to miss, a guy like DeJounte and Trae Young would get boost for me. I prefer DeJounte for sure for the $1,900 savings. I think 7.7 is a fine price tag. Jalen Johnson, 7.4K, I think is fine as well. No Pat Will. He gets a bump there. Vooch, Drummond, DeRozan, Kobe White. Talk about them. I mean, the Bulls side by far more interested in the Hawks, but I do think the Hawks interesting shout. If White, DeRozan are popular, you're playing some of them, look to the other side, especially if Caruso's out. A guy like DeJounte, Trae Young, Jalen Johnson are my favorites there. What do you see, Hoop?
Yeah, nice game to get into. Relatively close spread. Someone put in the Sean DeRozan's been Mr. Consistent. He's been very consistent, and at 7.6, I mean, continues just to pay off that price tag. 39, 42, 51, 48, and then the minutes are to follow. I mean, look at these minutes. I mean, absolutely insane. It's exactly what you would want for NBA DFS. So I'm really into DeRozan at 76. I think he's a phenomenal play. Vooch at 79 is a very solid play. DeJounte Murray coming off the big game, 59 fantasy points. Minutes. I mean, you're getting a lot of minutes from guys in this game, which is key, especially if we anticipate that it does stay close, which the spread does indicate. So I think this is a really good game to get into. Jalen Johnson, Trae Young, you can throw in the mix. I mean, there's probably 5, 6, 7 guys that I feel pretty comfortable with here. They all play a lot of minutes, which is obviously very key, and they've been very productive. So, probably my favorite game that we've talked about so far. A lot of different ways to get into it. You're not paying like crazy price tags or anything. I mean, Trae Young is 9.6. That's up there, but everything else is mid 7s, upper 7s, and below. Really like this one, so I'll have a lot of this game here.
I like it. Would you be fine playing DeRozan, Kobe White, Vooch together? Or do you think you'd group away and go max 2?
Probably 2 at those price tags. Again, it's like, man, to pay 7.9, 7.6, 7.5 for 3 guys on the same team. I mean, they have to absolutely go off for the game go to overtime. So at these price tags, it would be two of those 3.
That makes some sense to me. I like it. Same page there. Same page on most of this slate. So far, another big injury news in this next game, Q-Tag. We got the Pelicans and Memphis Grizzlies, 222 total. Pelicans 10-point favorites, and Zion is questionable in this. So again, 8 p.m. Eastern, an hour after lock. Zion questionable, Cody Zeller questionable. Memphis side, a couple guys doubtful like Derrick Rose and Zaire. A lot of guys out. Nothing really on the Memphis side for the injury report we have to worry about too much. I mean, Memphis still has. They're playing their guys deep, their bench deep, and all these prices are efficient and it's just, man, this team freaking stinks right now. So I don't see myself playing Memphis very often. I do not like anyone really on Memphis today. Maybe like a Santi or something. But yeah, I don't like Memphis. I don't really like the Pelicans either. I guess Zion, if he plays, would be fine at 7-3. But even so, when Pelicans are healthy, I don't really like them. If Zion's out, then I'd be looking to the Ingrams, the CJs, get my exposure that way. But one of my least appealing games, my least favorite games on the slate. What about you?
Yeah, not much interest here. I mean, with the Memphis stuff, it was cool 2 to 3 weeks ago when these guys were all super cheap and they made everything work. Well, now the price tags are up and you're paying like a premium for guys that you were paying like nothing for not too long ago. Just not an exciting spot to get into right now with the Memphis Grizzlies. Jaren Jackson shows up as a solid value, but man, at 8-3, I think there's a lot of other guys I would play over him. Like we just talked about DeRozan, Vooch, guys like that. Like I definitely prefer those Bulls guys over Jaren Jackson in the same price range. So not super excited about him. Zion, I suppose at 7-3, if he does play, maybe the ownership's a little lower. He's the one that I would probably go to because of the price tag. But man, outside of that, like I don't see myself coming here. Now, if he is out, Ingram, CJ, Valanciunas all become plays on the slate, but if he's in, it's him and probably nobody else. And then on the Memphis side, just not messing with it on a 9-game slate.
Yeah, no, we see it the same. And I don't think today's a slate that I'd be backloading or worrying about injury news as much. I mean, it's like most NBA slates, especially today, you're going to have to be chilling around your laptop 2 hours. That's what you got this game. And then the last game, 9 p.m. Eastern, a little break before showdown. But I don't think it's worth I'm not waiting for the Zion news. He got the last game off. He's had 3 days off. I'm expecting him to play. I think he's fine at that price tag. Ownership should be a little low. It's not a game I really want to attack though. Is this one, but yeah, no Zion for sure. We get that news. Ingram, CJ, definitely solid plays. I would be fine playing both too. I wouldn't love it for sure. A hand build, I probably don't do it, but I wouldn't exclude playing CJ and Ingram if Zion were to be out. Let's keep it rolling. Very fun game. An interesting one in DFS. Denver Nuggets, Milwaukee Bucks, 230 total. Denver, 1.5 point favorites. Injury report in this one. Middleton will be out for the Bucks. Denver side, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope is questionable. Obviously, KCP starts. Even if he's out, though, it's not like we're going to any of these Denver Christian Brauns, Justin Holiday, Peyton Watsons of the world. I think it's Jokic or Giannis as contrarian spends. Luka right now is getting majority of the ownership all the way up there at 12K. You still get Jokic and Giannis for cheaper at a discount ownership. Now, Jokic just center eligible. Giannis does have power forward eligibility. That has something to do with it. Hoop, I'll throw it to you on that, I guess. Any interest in pivoting from Luka to one of these guys, or would you rather pivot to like a mid-tier build than anything you see in this one?
Yeah, probably rather go to a different sort of build, to be honest with you. I just really prefer Luka over both these guys. I mean, I'd rank it Luka, then Jokic, then Giannis. So maybe you find the pivot and do play a guy like Jokic and makes your team a little bit different because you're playing the center. But man, it's really tough to get. I mean, you look at the ownership numbers, no one's really coming here. Ownership very low. Reggie Jackson appears to be getting some ownership and nothing else really. Jamal Murray at 8,200 is probably my preferred play in this game if you want to get into it and get a piece. But I mean, I don't necessarily love him in a close game. He will play a lot of minutes. So I think he is fine. You look at the upside is there, 60, 51, 45. He's got a 48. He's got a 43, which is, fine at 8,200. So he would be my preferred play if you do want to pivot off of Luka and go to one of these guys. Like I said, I'd prefer it be Jokic over Giannis. But overall, I mean, it's not a game that I really want to get into all that much for fantasy purposes. One of those games, better real life game than fantasy game.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm with you. I'm on the Luka for sure, then Jokic, then Giannis. And I just feel better. Like if I played one of them, it would be Jokic. And it's just, Giannis has all the upside in the world, I guess. But it just feels like Jokic, the 75, the 80. I like Jokic more in this spot than I do Giannis with Dame competing right there, et cetera. I think Jamal is fine too, actually, at 8.2K. We talked about a lot. Milwaukee awful against guards. Pretty bad on defense all year, period. But especially against guards, 8.2K. This game's competitive. You'll see these guys play upper 30s minutes. So either Jamal or Jokic. I guess Giannis fine, Dame, Brook, but not a game I like much either. Max players from one team on this slate. I mean, so far there hasn't been any spot that we really want more than 3. I think some of these Jazz that we're going to talk about are in pretty good spots, but it's not a slate really want to jam that either. So if I had to put a number, probably 3.
And a 9-game slate without like a ton of standout value. I mean, without a spot where there's like a bunch of guys ruled out, it's like, I don't know, you don't want more than like 2 or 3. I mean, unless there's really good value or one of these studs is out. We just don't necessarily have that on the slate. So for me, yeah, I'm with you. It's probably like 3, but you got to be careful with the 3 though, because I don't want 3 7K guys from the same team because it really limits the upside. So it's very situational. And yeah, I mean, if you're looking for just a general rule, yeah, it would be 3.
Yep. Let's keep it going. Next game. Pretty big injury news in this one. Right now, I don't have too much interest in it, though. The Knicks and the Rockets, low total 221. Knicks 3-point favorites in this one. Hartenstein's questionable on the Knicks. They're without Julius Randle and OG still. Houston side, Fred VanVleet is still out. Cam Whitmore's out. Sengun is questionable, though. And he got hurt 2 games ago. He missed last game. It's a back injury. Obviously, that'd be pretty important news. I'm not backloading. If most of my team is already filled and Sengun's out and I can't swap, so be it. Now, they could go different ways. Like, they could go Jock Landale. There's Jeff Green. I guess I'll throw it to you to start. Assuming Sengun's in, I don't have interest in this game. If he's out, I think I need to know who the starter is, and I'd probably just ride that, really. But tough one to talk about and really get to for me right now.
Yeah, I mean, in lockstep. I mean, there's not much here, and there's no ownership either. You see it, very small percentages: 7 for Thompson, 6 for Jabari Smith. I mean, I don't know. Like you got to see if Sengun's out, then you can take a look at some of these guys. Is it worth potentially backloading? Like you kind of talked about last game. I don't think there's anything that I want to backload for. Jalen Brunson at 9,500. I guess maybe somewhat interesting, but it's similar to those other 9K guys we talked about. It's like, going to put up a big score when you're in that 9K range and upper 9s. I mean, he's mid 9s. It's tough. It's not an appealing game. It's a 9-game slate. You don't need to get exposure to everything. As it stands now, I'm fine mostly being off this one.
I like it. Let's keep it going. Appreciate that like button. I want to get to this next game on the slate, though. Only 2 games left. This is probably, if I had to say, the game of the night, though. I don't know, at least for a couple pieces. I really like this one. Washington, Dallas, 247 total. Biggest on the slate. Big favorites are Dallas at 12.5, though. Nothing on the injury report that we're waiting on. Derek Lively's out. Dante Exum's out. But, man, the Wizards are just so fun to pick on in DFS. Danny Avdia's been playing all the minutes in the world. Last 2 games, absolutely smashing. I like Tyus in this spot. I like Kuzma. I like Bagley. Kispert, I even think Poole's fine. I like the Washington side. Just they play so fast, and I want Luka today. I mean, nobody on Washington is going to be able to do anything. Play Luka, and you want that. You probably on this 9-gamer need his last rotation to absolutely hit his ceiling at 12K. Easiest way to do that and make that happen is one of these Wizards. Keep them in the game. I like one of Kyrie or Luka, and then I like Denny, Tyus, Kuzma. I think Bagley and Kispert, Poole are fine too, but I really love Denny. Tyus and Kuzma are close. By far my 3 favorites on the Wizards. One at Kyrie, Luka. And I'm actually interested to see if Rio would make a rule saying min one, or at least one of them, because, man, this is a smash spot.
Yeah, I kind of like that setup. Like if for some reason you're not playing Luka tonight, like, man, like I really want exposure to Kyrie at 88, because this team is projected to score 130 points. Like that is a massive number. The total is 248. Like they are going to score a lot of points. And if for some reason, which obviously is very rare, if Luka has a stinker, or not even a stinker, if he just doesn't go off, like Kyrie can be the one that has the big game. He's been very productive. And then there's no one else to really worry about. It's one of those 2 guys that is going to get the job done, most likely Luka. But again, if you're building more of a mid-range team, you don't want to dip down into the value range and you can't get to Luka, get to Kyrie. I don't mind that rule at all, at all. And then you have a plethora of guys you can run it back with on the Washington side. Denny, like you talked about, 5,900, playing tons of minutes, 39, 42 the last 2 games, 46, 49 fantasy points. Kuzma at 75. Look what Tyus Jones has been doing. 46, 36, 33, 28 fantasy points. Bagley, Poole, like you have a bunch of different guys to play on the Washington side. So very appealing game. Obviously, the hope is that Washington can keep it close. It is a 13, almost 30, it's like 12.5 point spread. But again, you have a lot of different guys that you can run it back here with on the Washington. Don't necessarily have to run it back in NBA, but man, like if you're going to be big on Luka, if you're going to be big on Kyrie, you want some, especially if you're MME, you want some pieces of the other side, because when this game does stay close, I mean, there's going to be multiple guys that go off and pay off their salary. So very appealing game. And, don't hate that rule of saying, give me one of Luka or Kyrie in every team, and let's kind of roll and see what happens.
Yeah, another way to make that like even more appealing is just that you make that rule to start. That gives you time for the Zion news, the Sengun news, because you're mainly just backloading playing that game. If Sengun's out or Zion's out and your roster looks better with the Ingram, CJs, whatever it may be, you have to get off of Luka, or you do game stack that game. You just have way more outs, where other people locked into the early stuff, you get a lot lower ownership. And if those guys are all ruled in, you still are playing that same game stack you thought right now. So you just have that extra out. We do have one game left on the slate, and I think this Golden State-Utah game has pieces on both sides in the mid-tier that offer late swapping flexibility options as well. So maybe if you play 3 teams, we were talking some members out here and even our own people here talking about their process. And I like a lot of them do just play 2, 3, 4 teams, because they can focus on it all night, have plans. If I played 3 teams tonight, one of mine maybe would be just backloading. One would be maybe picking out a couple of my favorite players early, not worrying about swapping, etc. So just always have a plan, know what type of player you are. A lot of conversations like that this week. MME, single entry, cash, etc. It's game theory, it's process, it's a lot of that than just picks, plays, etc. So yeah, I don't mind at all having a little game stack or a Kyrie Luka with 2 Washington pieces. And if you got a swap or something like that, you do have that flexibility. One game left on the slate. Again, hope everybody out there, 200 out there, having a good Monday. We appreciate that like button, bringing you shows almost every single day on the channel. Even more shows now with the Gen over here. A lot of options, weekly, monthly, 6-month, annual, just PGA only. A lot of stuff going on, and no better price out there in the industry. Adding sports, same price. SHIPIT.com. Get in the Discord as well if you do join a monthly, 6-month, or annual package. That's game of the night, Hoop. 9 games to talk about. It's Golden State Warriors, Utah Jazz capping it off. 240 total. Golden State favored by 1. Nothing on the injury report on either side. But, hey, big total, close spread, and affordable prices, man. We're looking at this game. The highest price guy in this game is obviously Steph. Steph is contrarian today. D. Mitch is in that range, the Lukas of the world. I think he's fine. I don't love it. Laurie's fine, I think, as well. But then you get, man, a lot of minutes from Kuminga. You got Draymond, Sexton, Clay, Walker Kessler, Wiggins, Pods. I think all these guys in that mid-tier, people are going to play Luka up top. I think a lot of people come to this game for some of these 4 to 6.5K options that'll play roughly 30 minutes. So, yeah, I have some interests. I really do like that Washington-Dallas game, though. So how do you see this one?
Yeah, I mean, appealing game. I mean, we got a close spread here, big total. Should be a competitive game and pretty cheap price tags, like you talked about. Kuminga playing a lot of minutes at 7,100, 34, 33, 29, 34, 37, 39. Like he's playing minutes. On the other side, Walker Kessler showing up as a good value as well. Really hasn't busted in quite some time. I mean, you got to go back to the end of January. He's had at least respectable performances. Draymond at 59. We got George at 42, represents good value. Markkanen at 84, obviously a little bit of a spend, but he has the mid-50s upside that we want. We got Dunn cheap, Curry cheap. I ran 20 teams. I didn't change anything. I just wanted to see how often some of these guys show up. Like I said, did not change one thing. We're getting Trey Mann a lot. So George is showing up 60%. Walker Kessler on 50% of those 20 teams. Chris Dunn, 40% of those 20 teams. Draymond Green, 20. So if you just go in and blindly run stuff, you're going to get a lot of exposure to this game. And most of it can be attributed to the price tags, cheap price tags, high total, close spread. So yeah, this is a spot to go if you are backloading, like you kind of talked about. A lot of options here at different positions. Like you look at it, every position is basically covered, so it makes it good for roster construction and swaps and things of that nature. So this is definitely an appealing game. And as I showed here in the just running 20 teams blindly, you get a lot of Utah, and rightfully so. But the ownership is following a little bit. A lot of guys, in at least 10% for Steph, Dunn 18, George 18, Draymond 21, 14. But just tough to avoid it on the slate where all the main pieces here are relatively cheap and affordable. Makes it a good destination here for roster construction. So definitely we'll be in on this one in a pretty big way.
Yeah, for sure. The one guy that I'm seeing that I think I could maybe get away is Walker Kessler. Now, this is a spot I want to ask Rio. Again, in the Discord, another advantageous bonus you guys get. I mean, it's part of the price. Discord, a great community that you have. Rio, obviously a big Utah guy, watches it a ton. But, I mean, man, with how Golden State goes, Draymond at the 5, they play Kuminga. I mean, they play small. Sarge is the pods. They do have Looney in the 5. But I don't know if Rio thinks that, like, if Walker could get ran off the court, his minutes aren't already up there anyway. He never plays over 30 minutes. He's going to be one of the more chalky options, which I do see is right now. Center's loaded on this slate. I think he's the one I could get away to and feel fine. But I also can see if he doesn't get a run off the court, I mean, every Steph and Clay 3 is going to land in Walker Kessler's lap with no competition for a free rebound either. So kind of going back and forth on that. I mean, a guy that's going to be this high owned, playing 27, 20, 26, 14, 16, 18, 16, 15 minutes. His usage is hardly even 10. Yeah, I mean, the rebounds are definitely free, but the stocks, I mean, FanDuel, he's going to get some ownership too. He's 1,300 more, but he's a stock machine, so always a fine play there. But he's the one I see I could get away from. I do like Keontae George, Chris Dunn. They're both going to get some ownership. I think Clarkson's interesting. He'll be a lot lower owned than those other guys as a pivot, so I think he's fine as well. Then the Draymonds, Kumingas, Clays, I like all of them as well. So any final thoughts, Hoop? That was 9 games. Injury news, of course. Projections will be updated. If anything, like cash, if anything changes, GPP cores updated in yellow. But any final thoughts?
That's a good call on the Kessler stuff. I mean, the floor just has to be low because of these minutes. I mean, anytime a guy can be in the teens at the end of the night, like there's, definitely some risk. And if he's the one that's showing up at high ownership, I'm fine kind of getting away from it a little bit. So I like that call. Yeah, good slate, 9 games. Favorite game, I think, by far, after talking through it with you, is going to be this one, the Chicago Atlanta game. I think there's just a ton of upside here, tons of minutes. I mean, that's the one thing that stood out to me when we talked through it. Just a lot of minutes in this game, different ways to go. Vooch was showing up on a lot of these teams. DeRozan was showing up. Kobe White, if he's in, showing up on some of these teams. But the Atlanta side should be in check in terms of ownership. DeJounte Murray, Trae Young is definitely in play. So that's kind of the game that I'm going to be focusing in on for the slate. But yeah, it should be a good one, 9 games. And man, a lot. Like, I know NFL's over, but just thinking about the schedule for the rest of the week, we have a big PGA event, Genesis, 80-man field, Tigers back, all the showdown content coming over from Degenerate 75, big UFC card this week. I'm really looking forward to that. I was looking through it today, and there's some bangers in there, man. And then Daytona 500 on Sunday, big prize pools for that. So even though football's over, a lot of exciting stuff in the DFS streets for the next 7 days here. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And got to shout out the man Cool and the man of the day, baby, shipped. I want to say 250K was the screenshot on Twitter. And he is giving back to the SHIPIT Nation community. Bet on Twitter, fellow Wisconsinite. Shout out Cool and always grinding. Giving away a $200 PGA single entry contest to a member this week. Then he wants to give away 4 UFC tickets and the $25 paired with 4 memberships. So we will be figuring that out on the UFC show maybe next week, but he wants to tie that in. Said I got him into MMA. It's helped him out. He wants a new member to experience a sweat. Hey, it can be rough out there, the sweats too, but maybe have a chance to ship something big. Shout out you, Coolin. 250 stacks, I believe it was. I know it was for sure over 100. Awesome stuff. Danny, what's cracking? Carmen in here. Appreciate that. Sean Sullivan. Appreciate everyone. Got to get back, Coolin says. We appreciate that for sure. Absolutely. So awesome stuff, guys. Buckner, appreciate that too. Just found us out. You're interested to check it out. Hey, we'd love to do that again. A lot of weekly, monthly, 6-month, annual, of course. Monthly better pricing than weekly, 6-month better than or monthly, etc. If you do join though, monthly, 6-month, or annual, get in the Discord. Again, I mean, the annual price we have for all sports, cheaper than some niche sports out there, and that's not changing. We want keep it affordable for you. Play as much as you can. Ross K in here, cool at 250. There we go, baby. We're gonna get out on that note. $250 million for Hoop. Good show, my man. Good to talk as always. For my man Hoop, I'm Title. Good luck. Let's see some Shipping Nation logos up top.